And welcome into this week's edition of Hey Coach. We're going to take a break from basketball. We're going to talk with Coach Herbert Davis about football and what the offseason looks like. We'll be joined by Coach George Adams and talk about how he does strength and conditioning for all of our sports. And then we're going to have a special guest. Seth Hedgeland is going to be joining us today. He's going to be inducted into the Athletic Hall of Fame on Friday. So he'll be joining us also today. But Coach Davis, glad to have you back in the seat.
Yeah, man. It's good. It's good to be back.
I know. We didn't do a last one because of the semifinal game. Yeah, those things do happen. But what I think is unique is football and high school football specifically used to be compartmentalized to just fall. And then you go back in like April or May. It's year-round now. So what is your team doing now since you came back after the Christmas break? What does the schedule look like for the Patriots?
Well, actually, we gave them off Thanksgiving and came back, and George kind of puts them through a little bit of a fundamental kind of deal stuff for about a week or so before we get into Christmas break, and then when we come back, day one we're rolling, getting after it. So we lifting 3 days a week and 6:45 in the morning, and we speed train and agility plow, whatever we have for that day in the afternoons, 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday. So, and then we're kind of, we're in that process schematically right now, trying to figure out how we want to wrinkle something up or add something here and there, and so in about a few weeks when we kind of settle in on a few things there, we'll get out some afternoons, do a little football in the afternoons, just fundamentals and stuff like that.
Well, let's talk about you as a head coach. I think it's interesting when you start looking at head coaches like, hey, what does the offseason look like for a head coach? And I know right now it's clinic season about to get started. You have college coaches coming in recruiting athletes. I think today, you said just a minute ago, is one of your busiest days, if not weeks, or off seasons as a head football coach. So what does it look like through the lens of a day-to-day for you in the off-season, clinic season, getting things wrapped up?
Well, just trying to get a new computer program going where we can be more efficient with meeting with our kids and our coaches. So that's trying to be installed right now. And that's kind of been a challenge right now. And so we got a Zoom going on that. And then we got Mississippi State, Louisiana Tech, Arkansas, South Alabama coming in just today. We've had others the rest of the week. And so that puts you into a busy day. And then, of course, again, we have our other workout this afternoon. Throw in some dean duty in that in between. And it's a busy day. And sometimes you don't get everything you need to get done, for football. But that's kind of what we're doing, looking at some hires right now potentially for our program also, and reconstructing our staff just a little bit here and there, and making some tweaks with those guys. So it's always something. It's year round.
Well, let's talk about clinic season because you're going to speak in Atlanta.
Yeah.
What is that? 'Cause the MRA brand, and I think a lot of people, we talked about this yesterday in the hallway, it's not just a statewide thing. Yeah. With the teams that you play regionally, we've become a Southeast region, almost a national brand. That people are like, oh, MRA, and you're going to speak in Atlanta. What does that mean for you and our program?
Yeah, you'd be surprised being either in Atlanta, or going to visit Hayden in Nashville and all that. There's so many people like, hey, MRA, huh? And I'm like, I keep up with you guys, and so it's kind of amazing, honestly. But that's what I spent all day Monday on my off day. Doing 2 presentations. I got to do 3 to try to get ready for Glazier Clinic. And you say, oh, that's that, but it's kind of good for you. It gets you organized on some thoughts and things that we do, and one of them will be talking about. We talked about it this morning. How we built our program, how we sustained it. That's always good, even for yourself, to go back and reflect on those things, as we always do.
Right.
But what can we do to get better for our culture? How can we build our toughness, our leadership, all those things. All those things are trying to be built right now for as much as possible. Obviously we got guys playing other sports, but we're blessed to have a lot of them in there right now. So all those things, we're trying to build leadership, toughness. We're trying to build teamwork. We're trying to build work ethic. All those things it takes to be a champion. Those ideas are being built now, not later on.
Yeah, a lot of people think they see the summer, they see the hype of May and spring ball and the summer workouts, and they see the flashy lights. But it starts for football right now, like December, January, February. That's when that work goes in of, hey, how are we holding our kids accountable? How we sharpen our sword as a staff? How we can we tweak this little thing on defense, on offense, on special teams? Those type
And that's
of
another
things.
thing we're trying to do. We're trying to set up. Sometimes we always go to either a clinic or both. This year I've chosen not to take our guys to a clinic, even though I'm speaking at one. But
Right.
But we're going to pick up a high school or two here and there, maybe a college or both.
And typically, you learn more from that.
Yeah,
They're-
the clinics are good, especially Glazers,
Right.
But you get just enough to kind of put the little taste in your mouth, and you're like, well, I wonder about this, and you've got a lot of questions. So when you go and sit down and visit people face to face, they're more apt to be able to answer those questions now. So you're ready to go kind of when you get out of there, and
Right.
so I enjoy it more. You get a lot more out of it. I mean, and look. Speaking of that, I've already had 3 people come. Last year we had people come and visit us, do the same thing. So, I've got one, I think, in 2 weeks, a guy coming up. It's an offensive coordinator at a 6A, a 7A program, and he's going to come and spend the
Wow.
day. And actually, he's actually happens to be the offensive coordinator and strength coach. So he's going to combo me and George.
That's awesome.
So you got a lot of that stuff going on, and believe it or not, it's some days are okay, but a lot of days are like today.
Very busy.
Yeah.
Very busy. I did notice that you're starting to do something different with your quarterbacks too. Coach Short's doing QB school, and he's starting to show them like what it means, and more than just scheme. I think it's also just, hey, how to be a quarterback. What's it take? Because Philip's probably one of the top 3, if not the top one, to come through here when you start mentioning John White, Philip Short, Zach Beasley, those guys.
Yeah, one of the things I'm doing, I'm getting a little older.
Yeah.
But you can only be as good as your staff and your players, man. So I got a good staff. I'm trying to let those guys coach more. Coach Short does a great job with our quarterbacks. We had all our 7 through 12 in there this morning for
I saw that
our
picture.
second. For our second QB school.
Yeah.
So the 7th graders are learning just what the seniors learning, and so hopefully we're trying to build our program from the ground up. Other things, man, you've been talking about how we can incorporate our elementary all the way up to high school and have some alignment there. We got some good things coming down the road for you elementary folks. That's going to kind of try to align them with our program. And what we expect out of that, and try to get everybody on the same page as far as that. So
I think that's huge when you start looking at and stuff that we talked about this morning off camera. But this is very coveted. Exclusivity.
It should be.
Yes, it should be. That is correct.
I don't think sometimes it is because we give too many people too many things early.
Well, and part of our goal, and we'll divulge just a little bit, give you a taste like you would be at a clinic. There's something to this. There's some exclusivity to the stripes and the helmet. So there's some things coming down the road for our elementary and our 7th grade, 8th, and 9th grade before you get to high school. Some things that Coach Davis and I are going to look at. How do we vertically align those things and make sure that, hey, we want to earn some things rather than just be given to us. And I think that's a lost art some days because when you played and I played, we weren't just given a varsity helmet, what it looks like.
And one of the things we're actually challenging our junior high and high school kids with right now is, by golly, it should be special to put on that helmet. It'd be special to represent your school.
That's right.
Have some school pride in who you're representing too. By golly, as my old coach used to say back in the day, if I yell Cougar boys, it's on,
That's right.
But it should be very pride, obviously in a good way.
That's right.
School pride.
Absolutely.
Thing, and I think that's something we need to get better as our whole school. That we have a great school here.
Rep
A
the
lot
brand.
of our kids go K through 12 here. A lot of parents that went to school here are here. I'd love to see us get a little bit more school pride and fighting for that MRA.
That's awesome. Well, I know you're a busy man. I know you got a lot of things on your plate. I thank you for your time today. I know you got meetings and all that. But
I appreciate you adjusting it because I'm in a new meeting here in 10 minutes, and as soon as that's over with, I got 2 college coaches coming in. So, but it's fun. That's part of it, man. It really is. I'd rather be that way than doing nothing. So,
Absolutely.
and obviously we've got college coaches coming in. That means we've got a couple of players. So
we got a couple.
that's good too.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Well, that is Coach Davis joining us. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. He's going to be joining us every once in a while as we get closer to spring football. He'll be here before you know it.
Yeah. Note on that, we are hosting Warren Central. We went over there last year. We'll be hosting Warren Central again this year.
Go ahead and pencil that in.
We'll be probably around the May the 8th or 9th, somewhere in there.
There you go.
And so
Warren Central, the 6A state champion.
the 6A state champions. That's right.
And my alma mater.
That's crazy. Crazy how many teams we played. Like starting with spring, the 6A state champions. We scrimmaged them.
Yep.
We played the runner-up in Tennessee. We played a semifinal team in Tennessee. We played a semifinal team in Louisiana, who finished top 3 in the state. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
We've got
it
some
is
pretty
cool.
cool stuff. So
Absolutely. All right. Well, that'll do it for this edition of Hey Coach and segment with Coach Davis. Stay tuned. Coach George Adams is going to join the show and talk a little bit about what they do in the weight room and maybe outside to get our athletes to perform at a high level. This is Hey Coach.
Gumbo is a quintessential Louisiana dish, right? Our gumbo's just got tremendous flavor. It's about quality. If you skip any part of the process, you'll definitely get called out for it, and we just don't do that. Of course, we have salt and pepper shakers on every table, but rarely do we see someone pick them up. If you're gonna do a gumbo, you better do it the right way.
Your smile. It's how you share your truest feelings, your dreams, yourself with the world. And at the Winning Smile, your smile is our passion. That's why we offer in-house financing options, convenient appointment times, and personalized treatment plans to help keep you healthy and discover your confidence to unleash your best smile. Learn more at thewinningsmile.com.
From small-town courtrooms to the Mississippi Supreme Court, our attorneys have over 60 years' experience litigating cases all across Mississippi. The odds say you'll need an attorney at some point, and when you do, you can have the home field advantage with your hometown lawyers right around the corner from MRA. Gladden and Ingram, attorneys at law.
And welcome back into Hey Coach. I'm joined with Coach George Adams, our head strength and conditioning coach. And I think it's a perfect time to kind of bring you in and kind of go over what do we do inside the weight room. And you're all over the place. I see the workouts are in season, out of season.
Yeah.
You got kids that are playing softball who are doing workouts now. You have track guys and girls that are in there. You have soccer, football mornings. I mean, it is...
Yeah.
It's probably
Full
the
go.
busiest time of the year.
Yeah. This time of year is a little different. You know, there's a lot happening, but there's nothing like pressing. You know, getting ready for basketball playoffs, baseball's getting ready to kick up. We got football off season. You know, there's a lot of moving parts right now, and so it's hard to settle in.
Well, as you look at the landscape of strength conditioning, and you've been here for some time,
Yep.
and you've seen some changes, and you've also been a pioneer on instituting change at other schools and stuff like that. I think that speaks volumes for what we have here at MRA with
for
you.
sure.
What are some of the key things when we start building an athlete? What do we look for in your program?
Yeah, you know, kind of our whole philosophy, I don't care what sport it is I want to be the fastest, most explosive, most violent team on the field, on the court, on the track, whatever it is. And so our whole philosophy frame comes in that. Now it's what can the kids execute? What can I coach well enough to get our adaptation we're looking for?
Right.
And so that's really where all that comes from. And then it just boils down to the exercises aren't crazy important. It's that frame that you're going to operate from and then build from that.
I'm going to ask you a crazy question.
Yeah.
This is for our parents who listen
Yeah.
and watch. What about sport-specific workouts? And you've talked about this with me on the OCR Lounge before,
Yeah.
but I know somebody mentioned to me yesterday that they're doing sport-specific golf training.
Yeah.
Where are you on that?
I think sports specific, it's widely and grossly misused a lot of times. You know, people think in golf, right? I guess we'll use that example is all right, I need to mimic my swing when I'm throwing a med ball or whatever. And it's sports specific is more in my head taking the movements that are going to occur in the sport, boiling them down, and then training them really well.
Right.
Not necessarily mimicking sport. You know,
You're not going to go take a 5-pound mid ball and go shoot
no,
basketball.
and
right?
like there's rhyme and reason, I guess sometimes, but I think a lot of that's eyewash, and it gets people interested and gets people on board to say like, oh yeah, I'm doing something that. Hey man, when you look at all the professional level people, 90% of what they do is just foundational stuff. It doesn't have to be crazy, because at the end of the day, you get stronger, you get more explosive.
That's right.
You tend to become a little better at your sport.
Well, we are sitting in the boardroom, and we are looking right to our left.
Yeah.
And below is your new weight room.
It will be,
that's
yeah.
in the works.
Be cool.
Let's talk about what that facility is going to be able for you and your staff to do.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in a great facility right now,
Yeah.
but you're going to grow substantially. You're going to have turf in there. You're going to have all new equipment. What is that? It's like Christmas morning, I guess, for a strength coach.
At this point.
So what are some things you're looking forward to in the new weight room?
I think one of the things is, you know, as coaches, we always think of like if we could design our own thing. If we could, and it sounds really good. And then when I got in that process, I was like, this is far more stressful than I ever thought it would be. So I'm glad it's done. I'm glad, you know, everything is solidified. We know what we're doing. It would be good. It was a lot of thought process, a lot of sending back and forth to other coaches that know me super well, that know what I want to get. Because it's one thing when I'm sitting here by myself,
Right.
and I'm like, oh, we need this, we need this, we need this. And we actually got to a point where less was more. We were able to get the turf in there. The turf would be great for as much as we sprint, as much explosive stuff as we try to do. The turf would be great. We kind of have it potted out to where one group of racks is going to be able to facilitate us one way, another group is going to be able to facilitate one way. We'll keep all our technology stuff, we'll keep all that. But it'll give us a good space to be able to separate some things some more and dial in on some stuff, try to maximize space as much as we could, as much activity as we can get done in there. I think we maximized it to the best of our ability. The turf was a non-negotiable for me when I found out how long it was going to be. And so then it was building around that and what fits philosophically, what fits our kids, what fits what we do, and build it from there.
Well, you said sprinting 3 times since we've talked.
Yeah.
What is it about sprinting that just drives the train for you?
You can't mimic it. Like there's nothing you can do in a weight room with a bar with dumbbells that mimics the force you put down.
Right.
And so the way to get better, and it sounds, it's a lot more complex than that, you know, coaching track, but it's like to get faster you have to sprint more.
Right.
And sprinting isn't a 20% run. It's not a jog. It is you have to sprint at a max effort more often to get faster.
So yesterday you had them doing their fly 10s. What data do you grab from that? And does that data help cater something maybe in the weight room?
Yeah.
So how does that work?
With those, you know, we run 2 different ones, and those are kind of indicators for us of what we're looking at, where we need to go. Yesterday we were doing our XL fly 10s, which is just a shorter distance, and the kids kind of get thrown off sometimes because the times are slower than they are when we run our long ones.
Right.
They don't know the difference, though. They're like, why is that so much slower? So, but what we're trying to look at is making sure we're filling all the buckets.
Yeah.
Trying to make sure we're doing what that kid needs to do more of. Right now, this time of year with our football kids, for instance, there's not a whole lot of differentiation happening because we're just trying to
You're in a strength phase, I think, right now,
yeah,
yeah.
and so, you know, some of them were frustrated yesterday. I'm like, dude, y'all's legs are smoked. You should, it's more about the output of it because your body doesn't know the difference. And so I need the output of it to keep happening
So
on
my
a normal
track
pace.
guys were like, Coach, my leg. I was like, it's going to be like that until we get into the first week of March.
Yeah,
Like,
and when
it's
we
okay.
get to a point and it's time to go win a state championship in track, it's like, let's go make sure the main thing's the main thing.
Yeah, I love how you framework and like there's a rhyme and a reason for everything rather than, and not throwing shade on any other strength coach, just there are some coaches that are like, we're going to do legs 4 times a day. We're going to do this. And they're set in their old ways rather than, hey, where's some research that I can go? Where's some data that I can get? Where's some people I can talk to? I do want to give you a tip because you gave me a tip of I asked you about shin splints, and I know
Yeah.
parents are always talking about shin splints, and I'm about shin splints, and
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, oh, because when they
You fight with it all the time, yeah.
What helps the shin splints and what causes the shin splints? Like,
Yeah.
you gave me a thing of why you do what you do, and then I mentioned what Ole Miss basketball does.
Yeah.
I think this would be good knowledge for our parents to help
Yeah.
with their kids.
Yeah, shin splints is just a overuse injury. At the end of the day, the large majority of them are just a overuse, and so it's about making sure your leg is prepared for those contacts. And typically, what happens is there's a huge spike in volume that they get put into without their leg being conditioned. I know we just think about conditioning in a running or cardio type thought, but everything is conditioning. You know, people are quick to see an overuse shoulder and overuse injury in a shoulder, but we don't think about it on the lower half. And so shin splints is just a response, your body telling you to, hey, sit down, this is too much.
Yeah.
And we got to learn how to prepare our lower leg for those impacts we're trying to get.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned that to me, and I never even thought about that. Like, we work the quad and everything else, but we don't, that knee and below to the ankle, it's kind of a missed thing. So you do pogos a lot.
A ton of
all year round?
pogos, a ton of like low-level contacts, just kind of the thought process of that repetitive, low-intensity touch. Over time, if we can keep that in our program year round, we tend to not have those issues down the road.
You had mentioned to me during cross-country season how injury prevention, hey, do a lunge and then I guess do lift your
Like
ankle.
calf raise, yeah.
Do your calf raise, like do 5 pumps on each leg. It kind of helps. And I think that's knowledge that our parents need to know of just things that when they want to go see a special trainer or whatever, we have you and we have Madden and we have Jared Shore here that, hey, we're providing this for you.
Yeah, it's what we do.
Right, it's what you do. And you've looked at all the data points. You've looked at all the touch points of making sure that our athletes are at their peak performance.
That's always the goal.
When you look at in season, before I let you go, baseball's ramping up. What are those guys? Because obviously they're not going to go and hit. A linebacker's not going to go hit a running back, but they're going to go and smoke a baseball.
Yeah, it's still a contact sport. It's not a collision sport.
What are they doing right now as they get ready for their season?
Baseball right now, they're in kind of this weird no man's land. With baseball, I hate this time of year.
Right.
We're scrimmaging a ton. I can't get the pitchers on like their routine. I can't get the position kids on their routine. And so it's like kind of this lost time frame where baseball is the most important thing, but we can't let off the gas on the strength side yet.
Right.
You know, we still got another 3 weeks or so until we can do that. And so they don't necessarily love it right now because there's a lot demanded of them right now. And so, but myself and the baseball staff, we work really well together to make sure our kids are where they need to be and have conversations with your kids too, especially the older ones. The older ones come in and be like, hey, coach, I didn't feel great today. It's okay, let's take a look at it. Let's see what the numbers are saying. Let's see what you're saying. What can we modify to? And the thought process of, no, we're going to do it this way because that's what I said we're going to do. It just, in a sport like baseball especially, it doesn't work because baseball kids are so mental when it comes to some of the game. And I need them to perform well. I don't need them thinking about, oh, I might be sore, and then they start building excuses. And so it's always a back and forth, especially with our older kids. Our older kids I give a lot more grace to.
Yeah, so it's like you don't want any complaints. You're willing to compromise, but you really don't want any excuses.
Yeah. Like we'll compromise and we'll get it done.
Right.
But we can't just not train.
Right.
You know, we're going to keep training, and pitchers will be on their own routine starting soon. They'll have a 6-day routine and try to get them most ready to play. But that's what it always is. It's how can we put them in the best place to perform on the court or on the field.
That's awesome.
Because that's what they want to do.
That's good stuff. As the peak performance is what we want from our kids in every sport, whether it's tennis, whether it's golf, whether it's track, archery, whatever it is, football, you name the sport. Anything else before I let you go?
I don't think so.
I do want to mention he has started his own podcast.
Yeah, we'll see.
Called The Staff Meeting, and I encourage you to go listen to that. You and Dan Mullins.
Yeah.
Not the Dan Mullen.
Not Mullen,
Mullen. It's Dan Mullen, so don't get confused with that. You're a Mississippi State fan.
All the time.
But give us a snapshot of what that podcast is about, because I think it's going to be interesting for parents to kind of dive in and I think it's also important because teenagers don't talk very much to their parents.
Yeah.
That they can get an insight of like, hey, this is what they're doing in the weight room. This is why my kid's eating a ton.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is why their shoulder or quad or ham.
Yeah.
Or like, that's why.
Me and Dan are really good friends, and we talk all the time. And so, he was kind of like, what if we just start recording this? And hopefully it looks a little different than, structured podcasts, and we ask the same questions every week. We really want it to be conversation-based. And so it could turn into me and Dan just ranting on an episode. Here in a few weeks, we're going to start bringing some guests on and some people from around the industry and all different kind of aspects of it, coaching, research, the lab, the clinic, and hopefully just be a resource for coaches and for parents to kind of understand in a boiled down version of what performance is, not a bunch of just science topics or science words getting thrown around, but talking about like real and how this translates. That's the biggest thing. Is
Not
how
just
we
an
can
Instagram
translate.
post of a.
Yeah, like it's at the end of the day, me and Dan, we are not gonna wow anybody probably in a conversation because we're not gonna use those big science words because most people don't understand them.
Right.
And so
I know I don't.
yeah, it's a different world.
So, all right.
Yeah,
Well,
appreciate
good.
it.
Thanks for joining us
Yeah,
today.
absolutely.
Just like Coach Davis, Coach Adams is going to join us as the spring progresses and talk about different sports and where they are. I know spring training is going to gear up. Track is going to enter their outdoor season, so that kind of looks different with those football guys. I want George to give you a snapshot of, hey, these are things that we're doing inside our strength and conditioning and performance-based of building athletes, not bodybuilders.
Yep, absolutely.
You quoted that before.
Absolutely.
So stay tuned. Seth Hedgeland is going to join us on the show. He's an inductee, class of 1999 in the Athletic Hall of Fame on Friday night. Stay tuned. This is Hey Coach.
At Watkins Construction and Roofing, football is more than just a sport. It's teamwork meets community. And supporting our local teams is just another way we give back. So don't let a leak sneak through your defense. Call the professionals that know how to tackle a leak and protect your home field. Watkins Construction and Roofing. Trust, the beginning of what we build.
Ely's is a proud sponsor of MRA Patriot Athletics. Come try our USDA Prime New York Strip, bone-in filet, New England scallops, or sauteed Gulf crab claws. Ely's also offers an extensive wine list and bar selections. Ely's, upstairs on Jackson Street in Ridgeland. Good luck, Patriots. Boulware Vassar Orthodontics are specialists in creating beautiful smiles for kids and adults with 3 locations in the greater Jackson area. Our orthodontists are experienced, caring, and along with our friendly staff are waiting to align your bite, transform your smile, and boost your self-confidence with multiple treatment options including Invisalign and tooth-colored braces. With 3 offices in Lakeland, Ridgeland, and Clinton, contact Boulware Vassar Orthodontics today.
Dean Architecture, an award-winning architectural firm offering professional services of architecture, planning, and interior design. We are proud to be working with MRA on the new tennis complex and performing arts practice facility. We are excited about our current and completed projects, including the Gluckstadt Police Station, soon to be under construction Hines School of Nursing, Bridle Path, and the Baptist Medical Office Building for Jackson Eye Associates and Mississippi Retina. For leading-edge design and personalized services for your next building project, call Dean Architecture, your architect and proud supporters of MRA Athletics.
And joining me now on Hey Coach and another part of the OCR Lounge podcast is Seth Hedgeland. Seth, thanks for joining the show with us.
Absolutely.
He is a 1999 graduate, and as I alluded to earlier, he is also an inductee of the Athletic Hall of Fame. He'll be inducted this Friday.
Friday night.
What was it like getting that phone call?
Well, DeWeese was the first one. So Coach DeWeese was the person that gave me the call. And being that he probably had one of the biggest impacts on my life here at MRA, very cool. Very cool. It's hard to put into words.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I mean, it's his last year coaching. You get it's a full circle moment.
100%, yeah. Being the fact that I got the call from him his final year to coach.
Yeah.
He gets to see me go into the Hall of Fame. You know, yeah, it's definitely a full circle.
Well, let's go back to ninth grade.
Okay.
What was it
It's a long
like
time
here?
ago.
And it doesn't look like what it looks like now.
Absolutely not. No.
Well, let's talk about, because it's Athletic Hall of Fame, let's talk about your athletic career. As you start in ninth grade and then, like everybody, you play everything.
Sure.
Right? What was it like stepping through the doors at MRA and starting your athletic career?
Well, it's a neat experience, a different experience. Felt very welcomed
Yeah.
from the time I stepped on campus till the time I left, and of course that's what a lot of people will say is just the
Right.
family atmosphere here.
Right.
You can't describe it, but just getting the opportunity, and we're talking about sports and having that opportunity to play pretty much anything I wanted to, at school here at the time, not necessarily because I was good at everything, but when you have a smaller school, more opportunities, I guess,
Yeah.
for you to try things that may be on the verge of being a good baseball player or whatever the sport might be. But in this day and time, every sport is just so competitive that I was fortunate enough to letter in baseball, track, basketball, football, playing all those sports throughout my
Which is an
athletic
anomaly
career.
now. Like, it's hard to do that now.
Yes.
They're so sports specific and all that stuff.
100%.
Did you do tennis?
So,
Golf?
So there's only so many hours in the day and so many seasons that you can really compete in. So no, I was not. And I give people a hard time. I didn't play the country club sports.
Right,
you
right.
know.
Well,
but
I
there's
don't either.
There's a time and a place. I wish I was better at them now because that's something you can play.
That's right.
Throughout your life. But
People ask me all the time, do you play golf? I was like, yeah, my drive's really good. And they're like, really? I was like, yeah, the golf cart.
Yeah.
I have the golf cart really well. So did you have
Exactly.
a favorite when you were here? And I want to get into like some memories that you have of maybe basketball or
Sure.
football, but did you have a favorite?
Well, obviously, when you find more success in one sport over another, you tend to want to say that's your favorite sport. But I loved competing.
Oh, wow.
It didn't matter, and probably still got too much of that in me today. From a coaching standpoint, I get to coach younger kids, but basketball was probably my favorite to play, to watch, to participate in. But I really loved football. I mean, football practices were not my favorite.
Two-a-days not your thing?
Yeah.
Or
Those
three-a-days maybe?
Yeah, those where you're trying not to dehydrate in the middle of the summer, from practicing in the
Who was
heat.
the head coach when you were here?
Alan Kirk was
Oh,
the
wow.
head football coach.
So
and I graduated
was 99
with
the
his.
year y'all played in the state championship?
No,
or-
our team did not. It was the year, I believe it was the year before with Hunter Kramer, 98.
Okay.
They had a really good team. So Alan Kirk was our head coach, and we lost.
Were you a
It
quarterback?
was a big senior. So in ninth grade, they wanted me to be quarterback, and that was kind of where we were leaning. I probably got the bill for that, but ended up being tight end and defensive end.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I was still pretty big and wasn't as filled out. I was a little leaner than I am now. But yeah, no, it was tight end and defensive end. And as a matter of fact, I think even at tight end, I think I may even led the team. We didn't throw like we throw now back then, but I think I may have led the team in touchdown receptions that year just because we didn't throw the ball that much, and if we got close to the goal line or something like that, it's a lot easier to find a tight end sneaking out than to try to hit a receiver.
Well, if you saw Indiana and Miami, I mean, everybody's using tight ends now, so you're you're before your time.
Yeah,
Right?
but
Everybody's using tight ends
they didn't
now.
use me I was more of a blocking tight end that got every now and then got to slip out.
You're the
and catch
person
a pass.
that helped the running back gain the extra bubble that they needed from the defensive line to count the run.
100%, 100%. Yeah, we were a lot more smash mouth.
Do you have a favorite memory, a favorite game maybe from football that was one of those like, wow, I'm glad I was on the field for this?
I would say maybe the homecoming game. I think we played Hillcrest my senior year, and we played them here, and they had a decent team, and we weren't having the best season that year. Like I said, we were a little down from the year before, and and that was I think I caught a touchdown pass in that game, but that was memorable. And, you know, just your senior year homecoming.
Yeah.
You know,
How important, and I think our kids are going to get this, and the parents that listen to this and watch this, how important are teammates? How
man.
important are they? Because I think that sometimes we get in our own way of, I mean, you're a dad, I'm a dad.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we want to make sure that, hey, our kids have the best opportunities in this, but sometimes we miss out on that teammate aspect, and I'm guilty of that. So I'm not
100%.
talking at anybody, I'm talking with
sure.
them. But it's also, for you, I mean, being in the Athletic Hall of Fame now, what was it like having your teammates, and especially in high school? I think high school teammates are special.
Oh, 100%. You're growing up together. You know, I mean, it's not like you're going to play in college sports and it's a job and you've got a conglomerate of people from all over the place. These are the people you did life with, you know, and I mean, it was the most important aspect.
Yeah.
And I tell my kids all the time, you know, they're in sports now. You're playing a team sport for a reason.
That's right.
You can't do it on your own. If you want to do it on your own, you go play tennis, you
Or
go
golf.
play golf,
Yeah.
you know, and all the pressure's on you and the outcome is completely on you. But when you're playing a team sport,
That's right.
that's the most important aspect is your teammates, whether you're a leader, whatever role you have,
That's
it literally takes everybody. And that's bench players, that's, you know, it doesn't matter. You got to have somebody to practice against. You got to have the kids that are developing that are going to be there in a couple years. You know, it takes everybody. So, and obviously some of my lifelong friendships are my teammates from high school. 100%.
And I think that you start looking at that, and we share something in common. We both graduated in 1999, so the 98 football season was synonymous with it. But teammates are so unique because that's who you hang out with on the weekend. That's who your friends are now. You're probably going to have teammates that come and see you get inducted in this Hall of Fame, and I think that's the unique part of high school sports.
Oh, without a doubt, because like I said, you're living life. It's not just what you're going through in practice or the games, but you're sharing those experiences of going to whatever, the dance, or, you know, whatever you're doing on Friday night, or hey, what'd you do in this class, man? I'm bombing, you know, and what you got to help me figure this out.
Can you help me, or like give me your homework so I can look at it?
Exactly. Or we've had 2 late games in a row, you know, how are you getting your homework done?
That's right.
Know, and you can you develop so many relationships through those type of things, and obviously they're relationships that you continue.
Well, let's talk
life.
about a guy. Let's talk about a guy that you played for.
Okay.
Moving into hoops.
Yes.
You had to have teammates when you played for Coach DeWeese, right?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
To get through those practices.
No doubt.
What was it like, your time on the court and playing for him? Because when he's such an iconic person. When you look at all that, I've heard from Harper a little bit about practices. How are his practices, and how did y'all make it through?
Well, everybody wants to go to the practices. Practices were difficult, and DeWeese, that's one thing is playing for him. I had never played for a coach that was so demanding, you know, not just in games, but practice. It didn't matter. From the time you walked in the door, you knew what to expect.
I want to pause you right there.
Okay.
You said demanding. Has that helped you in your professional career?
100%.
Without being like that duh moment, but like having him, because I think a lot of times it gets misconstrued. The coach is like, oh, he's so demanding. But it's not setting you up for, and I think long term, it's setting you up for your life and how you do life now.
100%.
So demanding, yes. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just, how that.
No, and you're exactly right. DeWeese came into my life when I was 14, 15 years old. You know, when you're a young male, 14 or 15 years old, you're very impressionable, and things have a impact on you in a way that they wouldn't at maybe another age in your life. And man, I can't even explain just the discipline and like you said, the growth that I had as a man under him. You know, and yes, you mentioned he's an iconic figure, but we just had such a close relationship, you know, and almost like a father-like relationship.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time with him. I mean, especially when you're at school, and
Yeah.
he was my study hall, you know. So
Did y'all talk in study hall?
No, oh,
It's still true today.
I can tell you, yeah. I mean, I can tell you the times that I was on the floor doing push-ups in study hall because I wasn't doing something I was supposed to, and he expected. You know, he held us to a higher standard, maybe than people that weren't on his team or whatever. He expected us to carry ourselves in a certain way.
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah, I could go on and on about that for sure.
Well, we're here to talk about you and your
Yeah.
Hall of Fame. When you mentioned about football and your favorite moments, what about in basketball was some of those things that you're like, man, I miss this. When you go watch them play now, you're like, man, they have no idea how good they have it. I miss this about the game.
And probably you mentioned it before. It's the teammates,
Yeah.
man. Just the things you went through in that gym. Like I said, whether it be practice or an unbelievable game, you know, that came down to the wire.
Yeah.
You know, every time I get to walk back in the gym with my kids, or it does. It really holds a special place in my heart. The school, the athletics, you know, the people, you know.
Yeah.
So coming back in the gym, and you know, it brings back memories, and then you throw this piece, the Hall of Fame piece, into it, and it has a whole new impact on that emotion. And
I mean, you're going to have
and
your
feeling.
name, your grad year, and everything under the Athletic Hall of Fame. And there's not a long list when we started this in 2015.
Yeah.
That list is probably just that long.
Oh man, and that's what's so cool is you know, there's so many great athletes that have come through this school. So we talked on it maybe off camera here earlier, but humbling is a great word. It's like you don't expect something like this. So the fact, you know, when it comes up and you really get to start rehashing some of those memories and things, it was just such a fun and memorable time, special time in life.
What position did you play in basketball?
So basketball, I was the 5 most of the time.
There you go.
Or 4.
How tall were you? How tall were you in high school?
So I hit
'Cause
my
you're a
growth
tall
spurt.
guy now.
Yeah. I hit my growth spurt pretty early. Like I was 6'3", 6'4", probably by the end of my 9th grade year. So
Wow.
yeah, and never really grew. Got up to about 6'5", I guess.
Right.
That's what they probably had me listed at in the directory. You know, I'm probably between 6'4" and 6'5".
Yeah.
And back then, you know, I played post, so
Could you dunk?
it was I
Could you dunk?
could.
There you go.
It was not a windmill or anything like that, but I could flush it when I wanted to. So yeah, it was.
Like 21 jump. White man can't jump.
That's right. That's
White man
right.
can't jump.
Yeah. And look, we had a lot of good athletes on my team. There was another guy, Neil Berry, that was a year behind me. That obviously was super athletic. He went on to play college basketball. Brian Cronin, obviously another unbelievable athlete. He's played for, you know, Olympic teams and
Team USA.
Team USA, and he taught me a lot about the game himself. He was just such a phenomenal teammate, person, athlete, and
How good
one
of
of my
a
best
shooter
friends.
were you? How good of a shooter were you?
So I actually could shoot better than people give me credit for, and probably better than DeWeese would like to admit. But back then, if you have very few post players that were outside shooting threes like they're expected to now.
Mid-range jumpers,
Oh, yeah.
short corner.
Yeah, anything 15 feet and in, I had, it was in the bag for
Alan,
sure.
can you do that? Can you do 15 feet and in? Can you drain them?
Yeah,
you can't.
no, I had the full go from 15, you know. But if I started creeping out around the 3-point line, DeWeese he would quickly rein me in. I think, and a little known fact, I think I was 50% from the 3-point line my senior year. But that was out of 4 shots.
Oh,
So I was 2 for 4,
Hey,
I think, my senior year. So 50%, that's pretty good if you ask me. I think anybody would take that.
Yes, I would. I know anybody would
100,
take
in case
that.
you're listening to this podcast, you know, I was
50%.
50% my senior year from 3-point line. Yeah.
He would love to be 50%, I think.
He's a much better shooter than I am.
He's a volume shooter.
Yeah.
As we start looking at these three letters, and how has this place shaped you to where you are as a business leader in the community now?
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, in those formidable years in your life, I mean, I would say outside of my parents, it's probably the biggest factor for who I am today. Just again, because it was such a tight-knit community. People knew you. People were checking on you. You know, if you're getting out of line, people would get you back quickly. So, yeah, it just means so much. And now having my kids here at school and seeing them grow and develop and become
what does that mean for you?
Mature.
I'm glad you brought that up because I'm different. I did not go to school here, but my kids are here. You went here. You know the tradition. You know the experiences that you had. As a dad, what do you see now of like, wow, I'm glad I experienced that and now they can too. So there's some empathy that you have with them.
Oh, absolutely.
Of knowing, hey, I've been in those hallways. I've been in that gym. I've been through the tried and true, and hey, here's how you go. How about that?
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, one, I mean, you have kids. Anybody that has kids knows first and foremost you want them to be in a safe environment and feel comfortable and loved and cared for. And I know that's something that I got when I was here. And while the school has grown exponentially,
right,
you still have that same feel. You know, you've got the Christian values. You've got, hey, a teacher that if they see something that's off, they're gonna reach out to you and let you know,
right,
whether that's academically or socially or whatever it may be. If they see something that just isn't clicking, they let you know. And I try to reiterate to my kids is just how fortunate they are to be at a school like this, you know,
Yes.
Because it is a special place and sometimes I don't know how good, if they know how good they've got it, you
Right.
know, and appreciate the dynamic and the environment here at MRA. But I think they do, and I see it making an impact on their lives similar to what it did in mine for sure. And there's just so much more. Obviously, the school's grown
right,
numbers wise, but when you look at the ways to be involved in things, you know, fortunately my kids do play sports, but they're involved in other things too. And now MRA just has so many more opportunities, whether it's academic
right,
activities outside of just the classroom, whatever that may be, extracurricular outside of sports, you know, whether that be chess, robotics,
right,
you know, whatever that may be, and they start even earlier. And then obviously you go through the sports we have. I mean, you don't just have the main four sports or whatever you want to consider, you know, your soccer. And I even saw something the other day come across for one of my younger kids, a mountain biking club. We're about to start or something, you know, the archery. You can go on and on about things
sporting clays.
It's just a wide array, you know, obviously with more students that don't have the, you know, interest in certain things. It's important that everybody feels like they're involved.
Would you be on the mountain biking team if you were still in high school?
I don't know if I was that good at biking, but I mean, you know, maybe go out on a Sunday afternoon and mountain bike. That might not be so bad. Yeah.
Let's go. You play baseball too, right?
I did. I played baseball. So
He's a four-sport athlete. Four-sport.
So I gave that one up earlier than I did the others, but you know,
First base?
So actually, no. I ended up playing right field.
Okay.
So yeah, I wasn't
It's close.
Yeah, it was same half the field for sure. But I liked outfield. I pitched a little too. Coach Winkler was the baseball coach when I was here, and actually my sophomore year ended up starting. And I think got most improved player my sophomore year. Yeah, I didn't play the ninth grade in JV, and I ended up going out my sophomore year and playing, and that was my only year to play baseball. but did love it, and like I said, I mean, I had fun competing in anything I did, but baseball was just a little too slow for
Yeah.
me. You know, I like the
Is that why you went
fast
to
twitch
track? Is that why you went to
sports.
track?
Yeah, track. Look, I went to track to miss school more
Yeah.
so. Look, warm weather, you know,
Yeah,
miss
yeah.
school. I'd rather be outside.
It's still the same today.
Yeah.
There's warm weather, and you're enticed by, hey, you get to miss every Wednesday.
Exactly.
Whatever it is. So.
And I didn't have to put in the effort. The true track, I was shot put and high jump. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, I didn't even have to run. I just go out there, practice my little, throw the shot put, do some high jump. And as a matter of fact, I think Deweese may have still been the head track coach at that time.
Probably.
I think,
I've heard it's
in
rotated
99.
around.
Yeah. So I think he was involved in track some at that time too. He could probably tell you better than I can. He doesn't forget anything. It's wild. You know, he's got so many memories around here, and with so many different people. But it seems
Right.
like he in an instant he
Yeah.
can recall just about any one of them.
He can.
He's been around a long time.
Did you love track? As a track guy, did you love track?
Yeah, so I did. I liked the aspect of it. I wasn't a big runner, especially I'm not an endurance runner.
I would have made you, if you would have ran for me.
I wasn't a sprinter.
I would have made you a 400. If you were 6'3", 6'4",
Yeah.
400, 300 hurdles.
Well, that's good
and then
because
high jump.
one lap around the track's about all I got. Yeah, so that would have been perfect.
Well, that's what I would have chalked you up to be.
Yeah.
Not a high jump and a shot put.
Yeah, hey,
It's kind of a weird too.
You know,
I guess you could put it out there.
Just athleticism, I think, just plays into it. You figure it out, and yeah, I threw the shot put. I didn't do the, y'all probably teach them a lot better form, but I just did the 2 hops and let it rip. Yeah, and actually competed. There was only a couple people I think in the state that could out throw me in the shot put, and now high jump. I think by the time I got to my senior year, I was competing,
Wow.
and placing, first in some
Nice.
meets and stuff like that. But early on, my sophomore and junior year was a lot. There was some good athletes. Jason Cable played football at Nebraska.
Oh, wow.
But I just remember him being just a phenomenal athlete. I was a sophomore at that time. I think maybe even 9th grade. I can't remember, but he would. His high jump, he could 3-step and win every meet without even going full out in the high jump. He was pretty impressive athlete.
Those are
But we don't want to talk about prep too much on this.
No.
On this
No,
podcast.
no. This is the OCR Lounge and Hey Coach. So as you start looking at how it's changed from 1996, when you graced the doors, to 2026.
Yeah, wow.
Long time.
Yeah, you're putting a number on things
Yeah.
now.
And, hey, I'm the same age as you.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm aging myself. What's some of, or maybe your fondest memory of just being on Old Canton Road?
Yeah.
Like, I remember this so vivid that I'll never forget this. And I'm kind of putting you on the spot.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many memories to pull from, but honestly, it was just the people. It was the people. Obviously, the people always make the place. You can build the buildings. You
Right.
can get all the accolades in sports. You can win the championships, but none of that happens without the people.
Right.
But anything, even outside of the sports. I've got so many sports memories, but to the dances, the stuff we used to have dances in high school here on campus and stuff like that. So even those memories you had here, whether it was, hey, talking to your buddy after the game in the parking lot, waiting to get in your car after the game, just maybe a heart-to-heart about something that wasn't even sports related, and so like I said, it was just such a memorable time in life. I think most people's high school career, like you said, especially in the sports world, is just I listen to some parenting podcasts, as far as sports parenting, I guess, is more so, because now that I've got young athletes, I want to make sure I'm doing it justice. Hey, if I'm going to be coaching these kids and I'm going to be telling them how they need to act, I want to hear it from other people that have lived it, and you hear, I listened to one, I think it's called Pure Athlete.
Yep.
And,
Jeff
and-
Rancor,
Yeah.
it's an amazing one.
Yeah, it's really good, and they talk about, you know, not only how to teach your kid and how to develop them, but, you know, keeping them involved in as much as you possibly can, and you know, we don't want to push them in a certain direction too early, especially while kids
Yeah,
are
it's
still
a long journey. It's a long
Yeah,
journey.
I mean, like I've got an 11-year-old, probably, you know, hadn't developed obviously yet,
Right.
and I don't want to pigeonhole him
right.
to a certain sport or, you know, discipline, whatever that may be this
Yep.
early on. But it's
You
it's
see
just
that
something.
though, and that's what's so hard right now is you see that.
And you get pressure. I mean, you know, you play most sports you can play year round now if you want
That's
to,
right.
somewhere, somehow, and
That's right.
and more people are trying to push you that way. But I encourage, you know, the more you listen to these people, they're like, you know, I played as much as I could. You know, these professional athletes, they remember their times in high school. Their fondest memories are high school sports, and it may be a sport that they didn't even go pro in. You know, like. You know, there'll be pro baseball players they'll have come on that podcast, and some of their best memories were Friday Night Lights
That's
playing
right.
football. You know, and
right.
and even though they know they weren't going to have a career in that, that's something that they got to experience. And
It's a core memory. For
yeah,
them.
not just from, like you said, the teammate aspect, but hey, the developmental. I learned something in football that I could translate or relate to baseball. You hear quarterbacks all the time. You know, hey. The arm angle change that I learned from playing shortstop in high school helped me as a quarterback. You know,
And you have a leg to stand on that because four-sport athlete.
yeah, absolutely.
So you've done all those things.
You work so many different muscle groups and muscle memory type stuff in different sports that if you just focus on one, you'd never learn that.
Well, Tim Elmore was on that, and since we're on this, I think this is a perfect way to say this, that he was talking about, hey, what are some key things, they were asking what are some key things you can tell your kid, and this is for dads out there, is on the way home, say, I love watching you play. Those 5 words go a long way. I love watching you play. Yes, there's a critique to it. We want to coach the kid, but saying, I love watching you play. And the other one that they had said on this one, and it hits home, is tell your kids that, hey, I love being your dad.
Man.
I love being your dad. And those are 2 phrases that go a long way because as dads, in our son's eyes and our daughter, we're heroes.
Oh yeah.
We just don't wear a cape. So as you look into that, you can empathize with them because you've played these sports, you've had these experiences, you've had teammates, you've had good teammates, you've had bad teammates, you've had teammates that you're like, I know I don't want to be like that. But I think the fact that you can go like, hey, I love being your dad and I love watching you play
Oh man.
are those two things.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. I mean, 100% when it comes down to it. Yes, are we competitive? Yes, but hey, it doesn't matter what you do out there.
Right.
At the end of the day,
That's right.
I love you for who you are.
That's right.
100%. And that's probably, honestly, my wife will tell you, that's my biggest struggle, being fortunate enough, and I say it's an honor. The honor that I get to coach youth sports, and I say it's an honor because you have parents that trust you with their kids.
And you're
you know.
transformational. You're not transactional at that age.
Oh,
You're transformational.
No. Oh man, you have the opportunity to light a fire under kids that may not have had an interest in that sport, and it may be outside that sport. You know, something that you instill in them that they can take away from that and apply it somewhere else. So it's very important. But yeah, the hardest struggle I have with that, since you brought it up, and my wife will tell you, is being a coach and knowing sports and wanting them to develop. That time after the game is a constant fight for me.
It is.
Yeah,
It's a daily fist
because
fight.
I have
It
to.
is. It's a daily fist
I
fight.
have to take the coach hat off and realize that, hey, my son, my daughter, they need to decompress after the game.
That's right.
Let them think about it. When they're ready to talk, they'll talk. But yeah, immediately after the game, all you can think about is, man, I saw this play. You really could have given more effort, you know, or what were you thinking right here? And of course, I just want to jump right into that. And that's got to be the hardest thing for me as a dad is because I'm competitive and because I know what they're going through. want to help them, and you want to be that sounding board, but there's a time and a place, and that's my biggest struggle as dad / coach is, hey, there's a time to coach and there's a time to just be dad.
I think sometimes though you can, and we're getting off on a whole other deal here,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
great, but it's almost like, hey, I got to have that conversation with my son or daughter beforehand. Like, hey, when I'm on the court, I'm on the field, I'm dad. I'm coach. When I'm off of it, I'm dad. And there are some lines there. So I'm coach, and then I'm dad, but also understanding like, hey, I do love watching you play. And sometimes the kids get a rap like, you're the coach's son.
Right.
Well, sometimes the coach's son or the coach's daughter has it harder than anybody because there's so many layers in that.
Oh yeah, and girls and boys are different.
Yep.
Are different animals, and I've had the experience of coaching them both, my daughters and my son, and you definitely you treat those two groups differently. You just do. I mean, there's no way. I mean, my son, I tell him all the time, you know, I love you and the girls the same, but I'm gonna parent you much different than I parent the girls, and you know he understands that, and man, I put a lot on him, and I'm hard on him, and he takes it all in stride, but I think he's able to do that because he knows I'm there for him, he knows I love him, and he knows that, hey, I just want to see you do your best.
All right, as we wrap up, you mentioned your kids.
Uh-huh.
What did your kids think when they heard the news of, hey, Dad's going to the Athletic Hall of Fame?
So I think they think it's pretty cool. I think, of course, we talk about it. They don't believe, hey, Dad, come
there's
on.
no way you were that good.
Yeah, come on. So I think it gives me a leg to stand on now, you know, because, hey, see, but I think, you know, my oldest is 8th grade, so I've got 8th, 6th, and 5th. The 8th grader, she's your typical teenager, and she's not impressed by much, you know. But the other two, I think they're impressed, but don't probably understand what it really means. Yeah, okay, Hall of Fame. What really is that? You know, and that sort of thing. I think maybe when we go through all the stuff this week, Friday,
the meet and greet, and the introduction and your speech, and then when you get announced in front of, we're playing prep, when you're getting announced in front of prep.
Yeah, in front of prep.
It's just I think it's one of the coolest things that we do here, since it was brought up in 2015 that, hey, we need to start Athletic Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
That you have, I don't even say ammunition, but you have something like, hey, unintentionally, hey, this is something you can strive for, not to be in the Hall of Fame, but go be your best.
Go be your best.
And then maybe one day somebody notices that, 100%. And you inspire somebody, and maybe you're in the Athletic Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
I think it's a cool moment that you have, and a unique moment in two ways. That it's Deweese's final tour. He coached you. You're going in on his last year. It's one of those cool stories.
Oh, 100%.
That's wrapped up.
100%. And yeah, we'll end on it. And a message for the youth here is, look, rarely was I the most athletic player on the court, on the field. Mm-hmm. I succeeded because I was going to compete, whether that be practice, a game. I didn't want to lose, you know, and this is a weird word to use, but it was a fear, and people, you know, I competed and I excelled because I had a fear, and it wasn't a fear of I was afraid of the opponent I was playing. I mean, it was probably the exact opposite. I wanted to impose fear in them, you know, on the court or whatever. The fear I'm talking about is the fear of letting your parents down, letting coaches, teammates down. You know, that's what drove me.
So Coach Davis mentioned that. This means something to you.
100%.
Having pride and almost fighting for this logo. The fear of letting this logo down is essentially kind of what you're saying.
You've got so many people that have poured into you, you know, helped you get to the point you're at, whether that be coaches and of course we've talked about this already, but teammates. I mean, those guys that are fighting with you in practice every day, and they're putting in the same blood, sweat, and tears. And even if it's just a role player or a bench player, those guys are going through it with you every day, and they know your potential, and you don't want to let those guys down.
That's right.
You know, so that's what always drove me. Like I said, I wasn't even the best player on my basketball team my senior year. Brian Cronin, phenomenal athlete, you know, phenomenal basketball player, but
he didn't shoot 50% from the three-point line.
He did not. He did not. And I think he would tell you this. I was just a competitor.
Yeah.
You know, just whatever it took to win. Didn't want to lose.
It's a great word to have put on you. It's like, hey, he's a competitor, and that also helps in your professional life as a competitor.
Exactly. Yeah. Being in sales, and it's the same thing out there. You know, I mean, you know, everybody's got a. You know, you're selling something no matter what it is, and you got to believe in that and yourself and the team you have around you. You know, it's a cool experience. I'm glad we're here.
I'm glad you said that because Coach Davis is big on this. Like, let's get the pride back of repping the brand. There's so many things out there that get your attention versus what deserves your attention when you're repping this brand. When you're on the court, when you're on the field, when you're on the track, whatever it is.
And the people that laid the foundation before you, you know, I mean, got you to where you were. Like I said, when you're a younger athlete and you're watching those guys go through it and compete and, you know, overcome obstacles, you know, it's not just you and your team at that moment. You know, you're doing this for more than just yourself. And yeah, it's pretty powerful. But yeah, MRA is a special place and will always be. You know, for me,
Well, before I let you go, anything else you want to add?
I don't think so. We've covered a lot, and it's like I said, it's going to be a special weekend. Obviously, the other people are well deserving that are going in, and then you know Saturday with Coach DeWeese. I hope weather doesn't impact any of this weekend. And
it looks like it might.
Yeah, but like I said, just being able to do this, his final season is really special.
Yeah, I think that's
to be able to get that call from him, you know, to find out
was it one of those, before I let you go, was it one of those things you saw and you're like, oh, what does Coach DeWeese want?
100%.
You're like, what happened?
It's like a dad calling you out of the blue or something, you know, like, all right, you start thinking about what I do wrong, you know, where'd I let him down or something.
Right.
No, he typically doesn't call me for stuff like that anymore. I've changed. So yeah, back in high school, he may have been.
It wasn't like, oh, Coach DeWeese is calling. It's like, oh, Coach DeWeese is calling.
Yeah,
I wonder what he needs.
I better answer it, you know. So yeah, of course I answered it, and man, as a special, I think I was, like I said, I think I was
where you were?
Just in shock. I was, driving to a meeting, as a matter of fact, for work, and was getting pretty close, and I was like, well, I want to answer it before I go in. So I answered it, and man, it like I said, it's not something you strive for or really think that'll ever happen. So when you get that call, it's kind of humbling, and you know, you're kind of in shock.
Did you sit in your truck a little bit, like,
yeah,
wow, that just happened?
Yeah. You know, you've got so much going on throughout our busy lives. You know, work, and every spare minute I get outside of work is typically some sort of kid activity or kid event. So, yeah, when you get a call like that in the middle of the day, you kind of have to recenter and realize, okay, now I got that. Now
I got to go do this meeting.
Now I got to go do this meeting. Yeah, and you got something else on your mind. But no, it was such a cool experience. And like I said, I probably wish I would have been able to talk to him about some of the fun memories and just fond times we had. But I'm sure those will come this weekend, and we'll get to reminisce when some of the people are here this weekend celebrating with us. So.
Yeah, it's an awesome weekend on campus when we have alumni, especially athletic alumni, who are now in the Hall of Fame. So congratulations to you.
Thanks, John.
Me get to formally congratulate you.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, man.
Well, this has been Hey Coach and the OCR Lounge podcast. Thank you to everybody for tuning in and watching and listening. Seth, you'll be inducted Friday at in the Dining Commons, and then be announced in front of our fans and students at the in between the boys and girls game as we play Jackson Prep. But Man, congratulations again. I can't say that enough. I know this is one of those cool moments. I'm getting chill bumps right now.
Yeah.
Of just being inducted to your school's Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Knowing, and you said this, he wasn't the best athlete, which I don't think that even matters. Like, but you're a competitor.
Yeah.
If you take anything from today, like, be a competitor for your team.
Yeah.
Be a great teammate.
Give the effort. That's, God gave you whatever ability He gave you for a reason, and whatever that discipline activity may be, just give your all. That's it.
That's it. Well, thank you to Alan Burford and the Patriot Sports Network for always doing things that make our athletic department look superb. For George Adams, Herbert Davis, and Seth Hedgeland, I'm John Weaver. This has been Hey Coach.